in 200 builds, I've never seen anyone build one quite that dumb. That was a huge mess, that if you know anything about the way these things are wired, you would never do that.
Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Robin with Creativity RV. Today, I'm finally going to spill the beans about all the problems I had with my custom van build and how I got them fixed. Now, if you've been following my channel for the last 9 years, you know that I'm a full-time nomad and I've had 6 different rigs, including this van. I started out with a B+, I had a Class C, a fifth wheel, a truck camper. I had a Bambi Airstream that I pulled with my car, and now I have a van. And having a van, to me, is the best way to go. I absolutely love it. And I still love my van, Trixie, but I've had her for a year and a half now. And until I went to Kridana Outdoors in Washington, I was hobbled inside of this rig. This was not a cheap build, and it was a custom build. It never occurred to me that people that do custom van builds would not understand plumbing or electrical systems inside of RVs and vans. But these guys needed a tutorial. Now, it should have been a red flag that these people didn't use Battleborn and Victron, because to me, they're the best company. They cheaped out and were using a different brand, but I didn't want that. So I talked to Victron, I talked to them, I had the whole system purchased and sent to them, and I assumed that they installed it correctly. When I'm driving, my rig charges from a DC to DC charger that's hooked up to my alternator. And I was on the go so much the first year that I had this van, I didn't even realize that my shore power hookup didn't work. I have a port for shore power in the back of this rig that's just 120. I tried to plug that in at a campground and it popped the breaker. Now, believe me, I did not want to call the knobs that built this, because when I had a water leak, they said it was impossible, that it was self-sealing. When my gray tank was overflowing, they just said I needed to empty the tank. Of course, I got the same answers I always got. It was me. It was my cord. It was the campground. I must have monkeyed with something. I reached out to Victron, who has a master installer list. There's only like 10 or 12 people that I know of on this list, and the closest one to me was in Lake Stevens, Washington. So I went all the way up on this adventure to Jasper and back down through very cloudy and smoky Wells Gray, Whistler, and Tofino until I could get back to the States to visit Brett at Kridana Outdoors in Lake Stevens. He wasn't close to me, but it was absolutely worth the drive. I'm going to show you my entire experience with him and the multitude of things that he found wrong in here that he fixed just like this, including a bonus build that solved a problem I'd had for a long time. I don't think anybody else would have figured out what these knobs did in here. It was really bad, you guys. Let's head over to Brett's shop so I can show you everything that he found. Some of it was really major and some of it was dangerous. If you have a custom build or you're doing stuff DIY, you need to watch this. He gives such great advice on why these systems don't work, or they don't work the way they should.
Yeah, so in general, I'm seeing high quality components, which is a great sign, right? The common thing though is medium or less quality install, right? So you can buy your Victron, you can buy your Battleborn, but all the stuff that goes in between it is just as important. This is the main power wire right here that feeds the entire system. If you notice, there is no fuse. Right. So there is no main fuse, there is no switch, there's no way to turn it off. In fact, I'm gonna put a fuse on there for you to make it safe.
Okay.
The biggest thing I'm seeing right here is you have a 3000, you have a multi-plus 3000, which is a 3000 watt inverter, which means you can pull nearly 300 amps if you're running that thing at full tilt boogie, right? So if you go read the manual, it needs a single 4/0 would be a minimum wire size, which is that big wire. See that big wire back there running over to it?
Yeah.
That's actually, I believe, the correct wire size. But then look at what's feeding it from the battery. A single 2/0. You can visually see it's much smaller.
Uh-huh.
Technically, you need 2 of these. You have half the wire size you need to properly run that. Okay. So that's 2/0 as well.
So that needs to be changed.
Yep. So that really needs to be changed. See the big fat wire going over to the inverter and the little skinny wire feeding it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of like, You don't need to be an engineer to kind of understand that, right?
The charge parameters on the DC to DC aren't correct?
Correct. So I haven't checked your multi-plus yet, but basically I'm checking charge parameters on everything because you need to charge the batteries at the proper charge algorithm and charge parameters, right? So far, the two that I've checked, your DC-DC and your solar, have different charge parameters. Little things like that just kind of show me kind of a lack of understanding of like what all this stuff actually does. So it's the system's not jiving. I see, when I look at a system like this, I categorize it in my head in one of 4 levels. Number 1 is incorrect, unsafe, totally wrong, we have to fix it, right? The next one is acceptable, which means I wouldn't do it that way. There's definitely better ways to do it, but it's not dangerous. So like you might go, yeah, okay, we're gonna leave it even though I don't like it. That's kind of acceptable. Then I have correct, right? Which is correct. Then I have optimal. I always work in correct and optimal.
A solenoid is supposed to dump my gray tank. And so Brett is looking at why that's not working.
Oh, there is no connector. The wires are just twisted together. So you don't take wires and just twist them together. You use a connector.
So at this point, he had easily determined what was wrong with my system. He fixed the cables, he fixed the fuse, he fixed all the settings. And for the first time ever, I was able to charge on a power tower. At this point, we thought my power issues were good to go, so he tackled another problem that I had. I was supposed to have 2 desk spaces that worked inside of my van, but I ended up with none. So Brett took my kitchen drawer and converted it into a desk drawer.
Hello.
So Brett just finished making a desk out of my drawer. I'm going to try it for the first time.
Design.
He took this off and put a hinge on it. So will you hold that for me?
I will hold it.
Thanks, because normally I'd have 2 hands. Oh, look at that.
And then that just kind of stays there.
Look at that.
Okay.
Great. And ergonomically, it's like perfect.
Nice.
This is the shit.
Where's your laptop? Try it. Give it a there you go. Totally fits.
Come on. I love it so much. At the end of this visit, we thought I was good to go, but Brett wanted to double check and make sure that I was good charging on a household GFCI, and I wasn't. As soon as we plugged it in, it popped.
The power comes in and goes out of the same box. The power coming in goes through this box, and the power coming out goes through the same box. And that should never. You need two different. That's not right at all. They did wire it completely incorrectly.
Can it be fixed?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fix it right now.
You're awesome.
No, I'm just blown away by the whole thing. Like, that is an insane mistake. That's like big. That's like a big mistake. It's totally wrong. Which just means that, like, demonstrates like a basic non-understanding of how all this works, right? Things like that give the van building community a bad name, right? Because there are a lot of independent guys like me, and how do you know I know what I'm talking about? And the answer is you kind of don't. You got to trust, and then you trust them. You trusted them, right? And they did this, and so that's like very frustrating to me. Like, I take it seriously to do everything properly and get everything done safely, and this was not that. And so that's like, I get a little frustrated by that because it makes all of us look bad.
If you have a persnickety issue in your rig, or your system's just not working optimally, or you want a full custom build from the ground up, Brett loves it. He can do all of it. And I want to tell you guys about him because good people are so hard to find. I'm going to put his name down below for you. Reach out to him. He'll talk to you on the phone. And if you can get out to Lake Stevens, I'm telling you, there's nobody better. Everything in my van works perfectly now. It's finally the dream van that I wanted, and this coming year I'm starting another great adventure. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do and hit the little bell. But remember that most of the time I am now on Patreon, where I put out new videos every single week, and you can also join for free. So I'll see you guys soon, either on YouTube or Patreon. Until then, everybody out there, have happy travels and be free.